go. Ahee Vaka, hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Nzala Mama Cindy and you are most welcome, Mwanamani. I just want to encourage the person who's watching this for the first time to please do subscribe, because we do serve up some wholesome content in here. Alright, now that we have that out of the way, was that a little intro? Right, so today we are doing a get to know me tag. So I had to get Hoodie's iPad to do this with, because obviously I record with my iPhone 14 Pro Max. A lot of people have been asking me, my videos are so crisp. Thank you guys, thank you for appreciating the quality. I actually shoot with my iPhone 14 Pro Max. I don't have a camera, you know, so I use my phone to shoot. So I thought maybe I'm gonna answer a couple. I think I'm gonna answer like 10 questions. I know on Instagram I had said ask me a question and then I'll mention who it's from. I think I just did that to trick you guys into not asking me mean questions, because if it was mean I would say it here. So first thing first, I think we're gonna start with just like the biographic things, right? So my name, surname, age and stuff like that. So obviously my name is Nzala Mama Cindy, and of course you already know that because it's literally everywhere on this channel and on the branding of everything. So yes, what does my name mean? My name is a Xitsonga name. Growing up, my mom told me that my name means that I'm a precious stone. And I'll tell you why she said that. It's because when I was growing up, I really didn't like my name that much, because firstly, it was so hard for people to pronounce. And when I say people, I mean like my teachers, you know, and like they wouldn't know how to pronounce. So I don't know if it was the NDZ that was throwing people off, or my teachers off growing up. So in primary school, so I'd be called Inzalama, Ndalalama, you know. So I really didn't like that. It used to irritate me so much, and I would like complain the fact that I hate how my name is so difficult. And I think now looking back, it really just came from an insecurity, you know, because everyone had an easy name. All my friends growing up had easy names. My best friend growing up her name was Rose. I had Jill as a friend, Hilda as a friend, and I'm just trying to remember everyone from primary school. Faith was also my friend. So everyone had an easy name. And then my mom gave me, you know, a deep rooted Xitsonga name, Nzalama, you know. And you know, back in the day growing up, obviously, you know, the English names were really like the popular name. Pronounced Nza and then La Ma. My mom told me it means a precious stone that is swallowed by kings during their inaugurations. So my mom would always say to me, you're very special because your name is a precious stone. It's a special stone that is swallowed by kings during their inauguration, to give them power, to give them wealth, you know, to make them courageous. Maiden surname is Mashele. But when I got married, I obviously changed my surname to Masindi, which is my husband's surname. It's a Chivenda surname, so I have got a Xitsonga first name and a Chivenda surname. So it's really an interesting conversation starter, because everyone is just like, are you Venda or are you Tsonga? You know, so I'm just like, I'm both. Born a Xitsonga woman, married into a Chivenda family. I am turning 30. This is actually August is my birthday month, so I'm turning 35 this year. Born in a small town called Phalaborwa. That's where I was born and bred. It's a small little town, and I really loved growing up there with my family, my friends. So I went to preschool there, I went to primary school, and I did a little bit of high school as well in Phalaborwa until we moved to Joburg in 2004. Mom decided, guys, it's time for a change. We are moving to Johannesburg. So we literally moved from Phalaborwa to Johannesburg in 2004, May, I think. And we moved when it was winter, and I was like, oh, it's freezing. It's so cold. What is this place? I don't have friends. But eventually, you know, obviously I made friends as time went by. We closed school during first term. I think my mom went for like a week. She came to Joburg, looked for a place for us to stay. I think she realized that Joburg is so expensive. So then we found like family friends that we stayed with, right? That we could stay with, right? When she was sorted with the place for us to stay, she came back and she's like, okay, girls, let's go. So before the school could open, she got us transfers, and, you know, got onto a taxi, and we moved to Johannesburg in 2004. So what I love about the story, and the reason why I'm telling it, is because I just felt like my mom was just so courageous. I just want to also just elaborate a little bit to say, you know, my mom has 5 kids. So it's my older brother, my older sister Imelda, my older sister Elsie, me, and then my little sister Vera. You know, so if it was someone else, you'd be like, yo, I have so many kids, maybe let me just leave my kids back at home, and then I come to Joburg and try find, you know, a job, because my mom is actually a teacher by profession. It's like 5 of us, right? She's got 5 kids. You know, she could have easily just left us back home, and she could come to Joburg and then she would just visit us, because we did have a place to stay back home, you know, but she never did that. For me, I find my mom very courageous. I find her very, I find her very courageous, because she was able to say, you know what, this place is not working out for me. I need to come and get a better, you know, life for my kids. And, you know, she packed up everything that she had. Literally, we left everything, our furniture and everything, and we packed only our suitcases and came to Joburg. And I'm sorry guys, I'm not really a good storyteller, but I just wanted to highlight that story a little bit just for you guys to understand my background. So we moved to Joburg 2004. We are these girls coming from Limpopo. We go into a high school called Germiston High. We don't know anyone there. Everyone there speaks Zulu. We are Tsonga speaking, you know, so, you know, we didn't really know what to do. And honestly guys, it was the scariest thing ever in my life. And I remember day one of me going to school, and everyone was like saying Musha, 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 and I'm just thinking, what are they saying? Are they saying I'm Mushe? I'm like, why are they calling me Mushe? I'm not Mushe, I'm Zalama, you know? And then they're like, Ubani Kamalako, and I'm like, Zalama. They're like, Bani. And you know how kids are, because, you know, no one really knew Xitsonga speaking. They never knew a Xitsonga speaking person. I think maybe Tsonga people in Jameson High were very few, you know? So most people were Zulu or Sotho or Tswana. So, you know, it was really hard as well, you know, trying to adjust, trying to make new friends. Firstly, you are, you know, a Tsonga speaking person that no one really understands what you're saying. I don't know any Zulu, so I used to speak a lot of English, and people like, hello, call me English, Kulu, or some would embrace it, you know. So it was really an interesting time of my life, but I really love it because it made us so resilient. We're able to quickly adapt and adjust to situations. So I think that's why it has made me who I am today, because I was able to come into a new place and quickly adjust and adapt and, you know, keep the ball rolling. So I grew up in Phalaborwa, Limpopo, and then part of my teenage life, you know, I spent it here in Johannesburg, Germiston. Now that we have that out of the way, let's go to the next question. The next question then I have been asked is, how did you meet your husband? So my husband and I met during my gap year. So my cousin, her name is Nsobo, her and I had actually not seen each other. Remember, we moved from Phalaborwa to Johannesburg, so which means, and that time we really didn't really have phones like that. Well, I didn't really have a phone, so you know, in from 2004 until 2008, I had really lost contact with all my friends and my childhood friends because none of us really had phones. So we reconnected because now we had phones. We were in high school, so she had just matriculated. I had also just matriculated, but with her, she had gotten into a university. So then she got a place to stay. Her parents got her a place to stay in Braamfontein, right? Which was a big deal because I was like, oh girl, you're so lucky. I'm still staying at home. It's my gap year. I was ashamed by the fact that I didn't get into Wits. You know, it really broke my heart. But it was my gap year, so and I really just hung out together. So she was studying, and I would, every weekend we'll just be together because we would be going to like the freshers balls and the parties that were going around in Bram. So then what happened is that Sobon then not hooked up, but like introduced me to her group of friends from Phalaborwa. So one of her next door neighbors back home in Phalaborwa was there's a guy which is also our friend. His name is Jackie, but we're not friends then, right? But Jackie was friends with my husband. So every weekend, because we are all homeboys, they're like, oh, who are you? I'm like, I'm Zalam. They're like, are you from Phalaborwa? I'm like, yeah, I grew up in Phalaborwa, but you know, I did my high school in here in Joburg. They're like, oh, okay, you're cool, let's hang out. So every weekend we'd all hang out and chill together. So then Jackie introduced me to my husband, right? But we're just all friends. Met in 2009. We only started dating in 2010. So we dated for about 5 years. And then in 2014, he went and introduced himself to my family, and he sent his uncle. He sent the uncles. He sent a letter to my family, and I'll put the pictures here. Then he paid lobola for me. So we dated for like about 4 to 5 years before he paid lobola, and then you know we moved in together and. In 2015, which is the following year, that's when we got married, right? We had a traditional wedding. So we've been married for 9 years. Next year will be our 10 years anniversary. I'm so excited, guys. I really wanted a big wedding because we actually didn't have like a white wedding. We had a traditional wedding. So I want like a white wedding. I don't know if it's still gonna happen with this whole house situation, but we'll never know. God, you know, might bless us with something great, you know, and something big. So I got into multimedia design, which is the national diploma that used to be offered by UJ, but now it has changed into something else. I'll tag the name here. So I studied that for 3 years, graduated. And in my 3rd year of studying, I saw a poster at our campus that was advertising for a junior graphic design print shop there on campus. That's where I really got my first experience. I really did not have an idea why I applied for the job, but that's literally my first job. I worked at a print shop as a junior graphic designer. Right, so I would design their posters, you know, because multimedia obviously is a design course, although it's not directly graphic design, because multimedia offered me interactive design. So I would do like animation, there was drawing classes, there was interactive design. So interaction design. So we would do like a photography course, you know, drawing, designing posters. We did all those nice things, which was quite nice. And I was not really good at drawing. I'm still not, but I made it through the course because of my resilience and the fact that I'm able to adapt quickly and, you know, adjust to my situation. So then I graduated, and I graduated already having experience because I worked at the printing shop. So I could use that experience in my CV, right? So then I went ahead, I did a little bit of lecturing at Damelin, I was lecturing certificate students who were studying to be graphic designers, so I did a little bit of that. And then from there, that's when I went into corporate. And as I was working in not corporate, but like I started working for small companies, right, as a graphic designer. So as I was working, I think it was 2 years after I graduated, my older sister, remember Imelda, we are in the same field. She started working as a UX designer. UX means user experience. So she started working as a user experience designer for a big bank. I won't mention the name. So then she told me that, hey, listen, the bank is actually offering graduate programs for young graduates like yourself, right? And I was like, really? She's like, yes, please apply, because you can't be a graphic designer all your life. You need to actually move. There's more opportunities and more money and more benefit to becoming a UX designer versus just becoming a graphic designer, right? So then I was like, okay, cool, but I really love my job. I had just gotten a job at a small company. I was like, I really love my job here. I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. So I don't know if I want to apply. So that year that she had asked me to apply, I actually didn't, because I was like, I really don't want to do UX, because actually at my third year at UJ, we did a short UX course. Right, so an external lecturer actually came in and showed us how to do wireframes, how to do storyboarding, how to not build but like design for apps, which programs to use. So I didn't really enjoy that subject that much, because I was just like, what is this? I just want to do graphics, I want to do posters and logos and letterheads and stuff like that, without really understanding that there's things that are bigger out there. So honestly, I give it up to my older sister. Her name is Imelda. I went with her to the trip in Norway. She's the one who really pushed me to leave my comfort box of being just a graphic designer and really venture into UX design, right, which is a more specialized role that really at that time was starting to pick up in South Africa. It wasn't popular. No one actually even knew what being a UX designer means, right? What happened is that the following year, my sister's like, hey, the applications are open again for the graduate program. Please apply. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. I'll see what I can do. Initially, I applied and I was so fortunate they called me for an interview. And one thing about me, guys, if I get called to an interview, trust me, I'm gonna get the job. Because here God gave me this, so I went through the interview process. It was not easy. It was a very long interview process. We had to do presentations and stuff like that, but I was able to get into the program to become a UX designer. So it was a graduate program. It was a year long, and they literally taught me everything that I know today. So and from there, that's really how I started. I started as a junior UX designer. I went to middleweight UX designer, and now I work obviously as a senior specialist UX designer, right? So I've got experience, over 10 years experience doing the role, doing the work that I'm doing today. So it's really my bread and butter right now. So that is my 9 to 5. When people ask you, what do you do as a 9 to 5? That's what I do, guys. I work as a senior UX designer. You know where I work? Please don't write it down here, because I am gonna block you. Please don't mention where people work, because you wouldn't like it when people mention where you work. So yeah, so I now work in a corporate. It's my 9 to 5. I have a very good work-life balance, which is a blessing for me. I really don't take it for granted. Very fortunate. I really love my job and what I do as a UX designer. Guys, this was the biggest question. How did you become friends with Tatti? Your friendship with Tatti, we love it so much, guys. Tatti, guys, her and I met in such an interesting way. So remember when I spoke about me working at UJ at a print shop on campus. Tatti and I actually met because a friend of mine who we were working with, so I got the job and I got all my friends to come work with me in the job that I was working in, right? So every time there was a post, I'd be like, hey, Shanti, they want people here, please apply. Hey. And then Shanti then came with Tatti one day, I think for something. And then I was like, friend, don't you? And I was like, oh, I met her for the first time. And I was like, don't you want to work here? You know, she was coming from Welcome and she was visiting Joburg. And I was like, don't you want to work here? And then she's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, okay, send me your CV. I'm going to send it to my boss. So, but I don't want to go deep into how Tatti and I met, because I was with her actually I can't remember, sometime during the week on Wednesday, and I told him like, yo friend, people want to know how we met, and then we both agreed that no, we're actually gonna just do a sit-down video where it's just the two of us and we just talk about our friendship, because this one is too special, guys. I love her so much. I love her with all of my heart. You know, she's the reason why I'm even here and starting a YouTube channel, because she really did inspire me to start. You know, so I'm really grateful for her and I love her so much. Friend, if you do see this, you already know I love you with all of my heart. You are literally one of the good people that I know and that I intend on keeping for the rest of my life. So thank you for being you, and thank you for being so special, and I can't wait for us to do our little sit down so people can get to know the both of us a little bit more, and a little bit more about our friendship and how deep it actually runs. Okay, so I'm gonna close it at that because we're obviously gonna do the video together. Do you know how to speak Tshivenda? Yes guys, ndiyakona uamba Tshivenda. Okay, ndomariwa venda. So of course ndiyakona uchiamba. There was another question which was interesting. How do I afford my lifestyle? And then someone actually even said, you guys have money, ne? You and your husband. Guys, we do not have money. Okay, we are not rich. We are just two people who work full-time jobs, you know, so we both have a career. My husband works, I work, so literally we just have two incomes in our house. See that I have like a Louis Vuitton bag, a Coach bag, and all of that, you know, literally we afford that lifestyle and to buy all of those things through, like, you know, our incentives from work, savings, you know, those kind of things. So we are not rich at all, guys. We just really just afford ourselves and our lifestyle and the life that we want, you know. So that's why we don't always go on holiday. When we go on trips, we ride economy because we really can't afford like business class or like, you know, private lounges and stuff like that. We really just afford the life that we have, and we worked hard to be who we are today, you know. Just middle class South Africans who once in a while take care of themselves by going on holiday. You know, there was a time in my life where I was really obsessed with like collecting designer bags, and guys, I think I've wanted a Louis Vuitton bag since I was in varsity. You know, I was so obsessed with it. I really wanted to own, and today I own 2 bags from Louis Vuitton. If I was rich, I feel like I would have a whole closet, you know, from Louis Vuitton, that is Louis Vuitton. So we worked hard in order for me to get those Louis Vuitton, and through the incentives that we get from work and the savings and everything, we're able to buy. So don't look at me spraying a Louis Vuitton perfume or like a Dior perfume or holding a Louis Vuitton bag and think I'm rich. I'm really not. It's just like something that I've always wanted for a long time. And now that we have Hoodie and she goes to crash and there's a lot of things that are required, I honestly can't even afford to buy all those designers anymore. You know, I can buy like a little scarf. My husband likes buying me the Louis Vuitton scarves. If you see me wearing it, I wish I could show you. I've got like 3 of those, you know. So he likes buying those little scarves for me because they are just so cute and I love them so much. So we are not rich. Please guys, I want you to know and understand. I am gonna be rich one day, obviously, but right now we are not rich. I think this would be the last question, and it says, what inspired you to start my YouTube channel and was starting challenging? So I think what inspired me to start is because and I'll be honest with you guys, so as I was starting to venture into being a digital content creator, and this was triggered by when I reached 10,000 followers on Instagram. I realized that actually now I do have a platform, and because I also started creating a lot of reels of get ready with me, when I'm going to the office as a corporate girl and whatnot, I realized that there is actually a space for me to actually become a content creator. So I was like, you know what? I already have the platform. Why not? And then also what triggered it, or what nudged it, was the fact that a lot of people kept sending me messages on my inbox, close friends and also people who I know from Instagram, and they're like, please start a YouTube channel, you do so great. And at first I was resisting it because I was like, I don't have time, my friend is already on YouTube and I already appear on her YouTube channel, so there's really no need for me to start my own channel. And then what really pushed me to say, actually let me just start, was that I had applied to be part of a campaign, and they had accepted me, but in the last minute they're like, oh no, sorry, you actually don't have a YouTube channel, and we wanted people who also have a YouTube channel. So actually I was like, oh man, I was so bummed because I really wanted to be part of that campaign. I was like, oh no man, I really wanted to be part of this campaign, but because I didn't have a YouTube channel, they were like, no, you can't be part of it. But so that really pushed me. I was like, actually, you know what, why not? And then another thing was the fact that we had my husband and I was starting the process of buying our house, and I was like, oh man, this would be so cool for someone who is trying to buy a house and they don't know what to do or what the process is like. Maybe I should just show the process. So I have actually recorded videos of us going to the lawyers. The only thing I didn't record was us house hunting, because I was still not sure. So that triggered it, because I was like, actually this journey needs to be on YouTube, because this would be so nice for people firstly for me to save the videos as memories on this cloud, which is called YouTube, and then save those memories for one day, and for me to know that I actually did something like this, buy a house, a fixer-upper, renovate it, and actually live in it with my family. So that's really why I started. Was it challenging? I think for me, I wouldn't say it was challenging, because firstly, I think because I already had the following and the exposure, obviously, that my friend gave me, which is, on her channel, and also because of followers that I have on Instagram, it was really easy, and already I had a lot of people already asking me to start a YouTube channel. So that really made it easy for me in terms of getting subscribers and also getting the exposure that I needed. And then in terms of starting the actual channel, it was not challenging, because one thing about me, guys, I Google everything. Okay, I really don't like bothering people. I could have just said to Tatti, friend, here it is, do it for me, but I really don't want to bother her like that, because obviously, guys, this is my baby and not hers. So I Googled everything. I Googled about the copyright, how music works on YouTube. I Googled the quality that I need to save on when I'm saving my videos. I Googled everything, guys, every little thing of this channel, how to do the what's this? It's gone. I really can't remember, but that square, that your cover image, I had to learn how to do. I literally Googled it. I use Canva, I use Google for everything, guys. So even if you today want to start your own channel, I encourage you to say, you know what, you don't always have to ask someone. Yes, it's good to ask, but sometimes, guys, things like Google, ChatGPT, AIs, they are there to really help us, and to help you also just create stuff as well. If you don't have the ability to design things from scratch, it can help you from there, so don't be inboxing like big content creators and expect them to respond, because those people are busy. You can't expect people to respond on how to start a YouTube channel, because honestly, the information is there. It just needs you to Take your phone, go on Google, ask the question. I'm telling you guys, you will get an answer and you'll be able to do it on your own. You know, I'm not saying don't ask for help. If you do, you can ask for help, but sometimes it's best for you to also just learn on your own. Take your time to do the research and learn. It's really better that way. All right, Vaka, I think I'm really gonna pause and stop here. I think I've really told you guys a majority of everything about myself. I've told you where I grew up, how I came to Joburg, what I studied, what I work as, how I met my husband, how I became friends with Tatti, and those were the main questions that I got from people. So I want to also just leave you with this quote from Oprah Winfrey, and it really just speaks to how I also look at life and how my outlook of life and how I see life as. Sometimes you can look at people's lives online and feel like, wow, I wish I could live like that. But if you can really ask yourself the question, what is really stopping you from living the life that you want and the life that God has given you and created for you? It's for the living. I always tell my little sister, in life you choose. You can choose to look at life in a negative way or in a positive way, and I happen to be those people that choose to look at life in a positive way. The quote is from Oprah Winfrey, and it says, "Life is never dull. You are responsible for the energy that you create for yourself, and you're responsible for the energy that you bring to others," which simply means that you need to build that resume of goodness, right? You need to be that goodness, and it has to start within you and be, I am a good person. I bring light to others, and therefore I bring light to myself. I bring good energy in everything that I do. You need to tell yourself that and put that in your mindset, and tell yourself that whatever you touch will turn into gold. Well, I hope I am, even if I'm not speaking to everyone here, I hope this message really touches one person and you take it and you run with it, and you will see all the goodness and the good vibes and the good energy. When I end this video here, guys, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for the love and the support that you guys give me. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and please do share this with your family and friends and anyone who would be interested to joining this beautiful family that is growing so beautifully and so nicely. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm about to go now. Bye.